Very nice, 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 very nice. ASMR. ASMR. Rock tapping. Pebbles. Pebbles, 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 pebbles. Pebbles, 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 pebbles. Sounds of the ocean. And everything that goes back to the whole entire human genealogy. Everything that started in the beginning all goes back to the ocean. The ocean produced out life amongst everything else. That's why even oceans make volcanoes. And volcanoes turn into land. So the land can reproduce out more fermentation and fertile things such as soft plants. Plants in itself, the trees, then comes the life forms of everything that is on land that just started and came out of the ocean. You can have even a small seed, and that small seed can reproduce out something big. It's just like a mustard seed. That's all you need to produce out something big, just like faith. Faith starts out as a mustard seed and then grows into something much bigger once it's multiplied out, quantified out. You can have more than your heart desires, but if faith is not put into it and reached, what does it really mean? What happens when faith is not fully reached? How can you say it's ever counted for something, let alone anything? Is it not in vain that we not keep going so our faith can produce out more than just staying a mustard seed, but produce out even something just like volcanoes out of an ocean? Just like these pebbles that came out from land was birthed from something. Even this wax was birthed from something. Everything on this earth was birthed from something. But that something did not start out big. It had to grow. It had to start. It had a starting point, just like everything else has a starting point. Like we all do in this life, we all start out being birthed out from our mother's womb. We have to grow, we learn things, and then we transpire and aspire to other things in life that fully keep us going in this life. Because that's how faith comes in. Just like every rock, every plant, every animal, everything on earth, it has something like faith that keeps it up. It keeps the juices flowing to come out. Like clean to keep it going, just like faith. Faith like a mustard seed. It keeps it going, keeps it standing strong, keeps it rooted. Because if you are not rooted in faith, you are going to fall just like a house falls. Just like a house falls, being built onto the sand rather than on the rock. What do you think is going to stand strongest and stand longest? The one built on the rock or the sand? The one that was keeps it standing. It's not the rock itself that keeps the faith, but it's the faith that stands on the rock that keeps it strong. Because it's all about what you're connected into and connected with. That keeps your sword strong, that keeps your iron strong. The clay and iron don't mix. One is soft, one is hard, but once you have the two, they can connect and blend in well. Just like what I was talking about, one blood and graphene, because both have life in them. They both blend in well. They both are hard and create life. Need something that'll keep you strong and standing ready, no matter if it's marriage or what. Your faith that is produced within it and produces out something strong that will keep you going. That will reproduce out something stronger than a mustard seed, obviously, because you get growing and glowing. You have strong faith, strong willpower, strong blessings that keep you going and 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 going. And we'll keep all hands at the ready, all swords at the ready, your faith standing strong, your blessings even stronger, the mercy at your will standing strongest the most. You will stand strong and stand at the ready for the times that will come in your life when you truly need your faith to be strongest and standing strongest. You are being prepped for something greater to come, something more to come that you don't even see right now. We don't even see right now, but it is coming. It is coming. It is coming. All hands on the deck, for your faith is standing strong and it will keep growing and glowing stronger than you've ever seen it before. And it's not about asking the question, well, do I have what it takes to stand strong? Well, it's not you that's standing strong. This is why even most Christians and believers get it wrong when they bring up the question, well, do you have what it takes to stay strong? Because it takes a lot. Well, it's not our doing. It's the Spirit that lives inside of us that keeps us strong, that keeps our faith strong, that takes mustard seeds and grows them into mountains, mountain ranges, forests, and fields, and keeps them growing and glowing higher, higher, and ascending higher, and ascending higher, and ascending higher, no matter what. Keeps them forging and growing out higher than they've ever seen it before. It's not you yourself that has what it takes. It's the Spirit that lives inside you. They would call that the Holy Spirit in the Christian faith, of what keeps you strong, keeps you ready, keeps you focused, keeps your aim in the right place where you need to go. Yes, we learn along the way. We keep glowing, we keep growing no matter what. It's all in the faith, where faith lies. Where does your faith lie, friend? Where is your faith? What trials and tribulations are you facing today that's keeping your faith bumpy, keeping your faith not as strong as you think you can possibly be at? If you lean into other directions, where is your faith at that's keeping you in other places, maneuvering around, getting distracted, and everything that you have to ask yourself, where is my faith at today? Where does my faith lie? Where am I going in this life? What is taking me out? What is not keeping me upright where I need to go in my faith that can keep me down, depressed only, and not keep me upright, but keep me encouraged, keep my faith up, keep me at the ready, so when the times do get hard, which they will eventually get hard. See, as even believers, a lot of believers, if not most believers, like to stay in the safe place, like to stay in the safe bubbles, like to not get pushed around, feel like they've been defeated, don't want to go the extra mile because they call it a works-based faith. They call it, they don't like getting uncomfortable. They like the coffee shop faith where they can just go drink their coffees and not have to endure anything. Just sit back on their recliners and watch their TVs, not have to go out and share their face with anybody. Stay in the safe zone where nothing bad ever happens. Especially every time I talk about this, I think, sorry for my camera, it's a little bumpy today, but I think of America, especially when it comes to having your faith rocked and bumped like these other countries have to endure through and have to go through the things that the other people in other countries like Israel and China and Russia have to endure through. And over here in America, we are living on couch cushions, have the best televisions, have the best, you can say everything. We have our freedoms. We have everything that is great, and yet we take it for advantage. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like it's not meaningful. Like we don't have it so good we can have it like those people in those other countries that have to really get persecuted for their faith, have to really endure, and yet we think enduring over here in America is having a parking lot space stolen from us, maybe something at the store's running out, things being taken that really is not persecution at all. It's just maybe you were having a bad day or something else happened, but it really was not real persecution. Real persecution, when I think about it, is like what people in other countries go through, have to worry about where they're going to sleep at night, hearing gunshots, having to worry about if their children are going to be taken from them, being killed, having their heads taken off, such as Hamas or ISIS, taking them away to persecute them, to kill them, to torture them. That's the type of persecution I think of when I talk about enduring. So extreme persecution, not any real persecution. We don't really go through any real persecution here in America at the moment, but I do believe eventually the time is going to come where you will have to stand strong for your faith, and if it includes dying for your faith, then so be it. We are all on a journey, a spiritual, faith-based journey as people that live in this world. We are trying to really get because it's about, at the end of the day, growing your fruit, growing wisdom, not just knowledge, because knowledge at the end of the day means nothing without wisdom. You can't survive anything without wisdom. Wisdom is the learning point where you know what you need to do. It's more than knowledge. It's more than just being that I'm right. Well, you may be right, but yet some people are just too smart for their own goods. They are way too smart for their own knowledges, their goods. It's the pride. You can be so smart, have all the book knowledge in the world, in anything, but yet if you have pride, if you have ego, if you have any of these is no wisdom. So yet the knowledge means nothing without wisdom. Wisdom means letting go of the pride and the ego man and put on the new man, and taking on new wines means that you have no ego anymore. You have no pride. And even if you do, it's barely showing, because at some point, yes, we all do have pride and our egos that show every once in a while. But if you are into wisdom and taking to receive, not just hearing wisdom, but taking it, you will know how to do things. You will know how to go. You will know where to go in your life, how to do things, where to go with things, what to do with things that you may have not known before. If you take them and actually listen to others and what they have to tell you, they advise, and listening to their own mistakes and what they tell you, then you can do great things. You can do great things with wisdom, with the transparency, with everything you need. You can do great things, but you must be ready. You must be ready to listen and endure some things in this life, especially when it comes to your faith and whatever faith you have. But me, I put my faith in the divine one, the one that lives above. You can call him Jesus, you can call him Adonai, Hosea, Jehovah Jireh, Adonai, whatever. I used to think the God of this universe might have been a woman, but maybe I'm asking the question, well, what if I'm wrong? Maybe it actually is a male. I don't personally believe God is male or female, but I do believe the God of this universe has male attributes. So I'm starting to turn of it being more of a male attributed God than anything else. It's just more of the male traits and attributes, because if this world we live in has nature in itself that is dominant, why wouldn't the creator of this universe have dominant traits? And if you ask the question, well, where do dominant traits come from? Yes, they can come from females too, but a lot of the times when females have to put on dominant traits, it's either insecurity or it's built into them if they have no protection, so they have to express dominant traits. But with men and male traits, it comes more naturally, and it's just like it's instilled into us to automatically just be dominant and to protect, because men are supposed to be and born to be natural protectors, to give women security and protection, instead of making women having to go and be dominant. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with women being dominant, but I'm just saying, if you want to know the real attributes of the male and female, it's the women are more submissive and the men are more dominant. And I do believe that's the way it should be. I have had to come to terms with questioning the own things in my beliefs. Well, maybe, and this is where wisdom comes in, that you have to start questioning even your own beliefs. Well, maybe you could be wrong. We can't just stick to things that we think we know, because it kind of seems more ignorant to do that rather than question our own beliefs, because questioning builds wisdom, it grows wisdom. Even in science, the act of even questioning things that most people either don't do or not programmed to do or afraid to do, don't want to act like a little child, convert them to a little child. ask these questions, then why? The whys, the hows, the when, the what haves, anything, just the act of just questioning things. Wisdom does not grow. Wisdom is like oil in a lamp that builds up the lamp and keeps our lamps full in order to keep going and glowing. I've just always been the type of person to question things, to ask the questions, even question my own beliefs and faith in order to keep growing, because in order to grow wisdom, you must ask the question. Questions. That most don't want to ask, get afraid or intimidated to ask, do not want to ask because they're so programmed as an adult that, oh, well, I was not, like, it's just kind of weird to ask those questions. Well, why is it weird when you're just asking a question? There's nothing weird about it, and this is the part when you start asking the questions. Our society is programmed in such a way deep down, that they don't know what to do with you once you start asking deep questions. They start asking, well, are you religious? Are you crazy? They look at you crazy because the programming of our society and our world is real, where it's just designed to keep you working at a job, paying taxes, and just dying. That's the whole programming of our world, where nobody wants to even ask questions because they're afraid they will not be able to keep going forth in life because something bad is going to happen to them, but it's not. You just need to keep asking the questions. Know where your faith lies, friend. And just keep growing. Keep growing. Keep growing. You have to keep your faith. Faith lies purely not on you, but the one that lives above, the divine one, and keeps your wisdom up. It keeps, the divine one keeps oil in your lamps, so you can even light your lamps and endure through the darkness, through the hardest times. As I walk through even the valley of the shadow of death, I shall not fear. I will not fear. I will keep growing, because growing means to glow. Glowing means to grow. Growing in our gardens so we can keep building lamp and getting more lamp oil poured into our lamps. So we can keep going. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep knowing where our aim lies. Once we keep wisdom and we ask the questions and we keep on keeping on with our wisdom and faith and trusting in the one that lives above, it keeps our aim strong, because we know where our faith lies. And if we know where our faith lies, we know where our aim lies. And if we know where our aim lies, we know how to keep going. We know where we are going. We have the dreams, we have the visions, we have everything we are supposed to have, friend. But do you see it? Do you know where your faith lies? Do you know where you are supposed to go? Do you have a vision? Do you have a dream? Do you have openness in your vessel to receive new things of the Spirit and of Him? Is the ego dropped? Is your ego, have you gone through, or are you going through the ego death? So you know that you can keep glowing to grow, friend. You can keep this possible. Make this happen. Make what you're trying to go happen so you can keep glowing to grow and growing to glow. Because once you start taking the steps, you see your lamp be filling up and growing and filling even more and more and more and more and more and more. Everything that you're trying to do matters, because it is a matter to see where your faith truly and really lies in order to keep growing to glow, glowing to grow. Everything that is happening in this world and around you and even basically at you is happening for a reason, and it's not so much as good as it is bad. Is the fact that the one that lives above maybe is trying to show you something, that they're trying to keep your faith strong in the aim, because eventually the time is going to come where you're going to have to know where your faith lies, have to know where your faith is at, have to know where your faith is kept at, so you can stay strong and keep your lamps filled even through all the thickest of darkness, so you know where to go, you know how to keep through, and the spirit that abides in you keeps you strong. Basically, the spirit that lives inside you is like your weapon, your guns, your machine guns, your pistol, basically, and you're shooting the darkness. Because without the spirit, you don't have weapons. What does a warrior do, militant, everything else do before warfare, before battle? They have to go into practice. They have to be put through things. They have to have their weapons given to them so they can test out their weapons, test out their faith, test out everything that is given to them, so they know how. They have had practice in warfare, so they know how to get through things and take battle. Why are we not? Especially people in their faith know that we are actually in a battle, and this is actually a battle for the soul. This is a battle for where your faith really lies, where your aim lies. So many people now have chosen or are choosing right now, really without them even knowing it, which side they're on. Are they on the good or are they on the evil side? The good or the bad side? And a lot actually have ignorance in their face because they don't even know which side they're really on. So it's like, you're not blue, you're not red, you're caught in the middle. When I say blue bloods and red bloods, you're caught in the middle between the wheat and the tares. You're caught in the middle of, I would say, the good and the bad. Some would call it lukewarm. Some would call it straddling the fence, like a goat caught in the fence. Sure, you have one foot on one side and one foot on the other. Is this hot or cold water? Is it lukewarm? We like our comforts as people because we are creatures of comfort, naturally born creatures of comfort. And we like our comfortability, but the times that are coming, my friend, are times like we've never seen before over this entire world, not just in America, but this entire world that we have never truly really seen before. You think you've seen bad, and a lot of people in America, especially even in churches, things they'll never tell you. Maybe some will, but I don't think they'll ever tell you that they really just don't believe it's going to get as bad or it will ever be like those other countries in China and Russia or any of these places, because we've had it so good here in America that we just want it to go back to the way it was. You get your copies, you hear the message at your church, and you go home. You don't have to really endure. You only have to listen to maybe an hour message. Drink your cup of joe, eat your creamer, your sugar, feel good, and go home. And you just live and do things the rest of the week like anybody else. You don't look any different. You don't sound any different. You don't see the world any different. You blend in well like the rest of the world in society. And people right now are trying to find that hope, that light in the world, that light that lives in true believers, true chosen ones, true people of the faith, and they would stand on their face and they would know who the Savior really is, know who God is, know who they really serve. See, a lot of even believers in the churches don't really know who they truly serve, because when their faith get a little rocky, a little mishandled, a little out of shape, they're ready to throw in the towel. Well, that's not God. This is not it. This is too much. I don't know about this. I've never dealt with this. This is not like what they preach in normal American churches. This is not what the American church should go through, or how narcissistic and conceited are we as America to think we shouldn't have to endure like all other faiths in China and Russia. How conceited, how narcissistic are we that we say they have to go through it, but we don't. We don't have to go through anything. We just sit here, drink our cups of coffee, and go home. Hear the message and go home. Hear the message and go home. Why are we not going forth in our aims, in our faith, trusting in the wisdom, trusting in the guidance of the one that lives above us, that lives and loves us endlessly? His love endures forever. His love that would speak most definitely, most assuredly, most unannounced, unaware, unprecedented, that he loves us as people. But at the same time, I don't believe we are all his children. The scriptures even point us to that. Some are sons and daughters of the darkness, and some are sons and daughters of the light. Even in the churches, you would not believe. And some would disagree with me, but I would say that even some in the churches are sons and daughters of the darkness rather than sons and daughters of the light. And this goes way past scripture. This goes a lot deeper than most want to hear. But what are we practicing? Are we practicing darkness, or are we practicing the light? Because if we practice the light, we will be fully pure. We will be fully conditioned in our faith to stand strong when the going gets tough. And not too long from now, the going is going to start to get tough, because we are going to eventually head into full battle of our faith like we have never seen before. And so many people can try to play the part, play the funk. But I would have to say, if your fruit's there and your fruit shows, why can't? How are you not in the faith? You are chosen for greatness. Your aim is strong. Your fruits are producing out and blossoming like a lot of people need to have. But it's just like, what are we doing with our times? What are we doing with the times that we already have, friend? What are we doing with where we are going at in this world? Do we have peace? Do we have love? Do we have the joy? Do we have the patience? Do we have the willpower? Do we have the fruits of the spirits, just like Galatians tells us that we should have? I have not read my Bible in a while, but I want to start reading again. That even we, as people of the faith, need to have the fruits of the Spirit in order to keep our faiths and our wisdom strong, our lamps full. We're going to need it, because there will be bloodshed that's going to come in this world, and things that will come that if we don't keep and we don't know where we're at, where we stand, We're going to fall like a bridge, like a mountain, like a building. We're going to fall. We're going to fall, we're going to fall, we're going to fall, we're going to fall if we don't truly know where our fate lies. If we truly don't know where the battle is really being fought at, if we don't know where things are headed in this world. And most really just don't seem like they even know what is going on right now. And I'm not even talking about the world. I'm talking about even the people in the churches and the faith. Things that are happening, things that are coming, things that are changing in this world at a rapid pace. Either they're talked about or they're not talked about publicly loud. That most need to really hear in this time, but also not even just about what's going on in this world, but they need to see our lights as believers, as where we are going, as what we are doing, as how we are seeing things and where we are walking in our face, that keep us strong, that keep us growing to glow, glowing to grow. Growing to glow is key in order to keep our faith strong. All hands on deck. All hands on deck, all hands on deck. That keep us motivated and us strong. And even in such a time like this, that we know where we are going at in this world. That we can keep growing to glow and glowing to grow, friend. That we know where we're at in our face and our walk. That we would not fall when the going gets tough, but we pray that we get armor, our spiritual armor. We put on our spiritual armor and keep our armor strong. We put on the full armor of God each and every day, that we shall endure to the very end. And even if some were to have to stay in the tribulation, but probably the chosen ones are not going to have to endure through this, that we, our faith, would stay strong no matter what we are put through, no matter how and what comes our way and is thrown our way. We keep growing to glow, glowing to grow like no other. We stand strong, stand tall, stand at the ready, put on the full armor of God each and every day. Each and every day. Each and every day. That we would keep and know where our faith lies, and standing strong, not just in the physical, but everything starts in the spiritual and transmutes and goes into the spiritual, physical. That we would keep going in order to make it through. That we know where we are going in order to reach our destiny, reach our goal, reach the end point, because really it's about our journeys and not so much the destination, but how we are getting there. Are we taking the right steps? Are we praying and meditating on where we should go, so we know where to go, so our faith produces out wisdom in order to keep our lamps full, in order to keep us in our faith, so we don't lose faith in the one that lives above, so we can he says you matter, and you matter to him, that all that we do here on earth does matter and goes. Everything that is bound here is loosened in heaven. Everything that is bound in heaven is loose here. Everything that we do here does matter. What we do here reaps. Whatever we do, we reap what we sow, whether it be good or bad. So know what steps you want to take in order to keep your faith strong. Do good unto others as others would do unto you. And keep growing and glowing, my friend. Go through the ego death, go what you need to do what you need to do in this life. Fulfill your dreams. Put on everything. Take every step, every road you need to take in order to fulfill and do everything you need to do. Because eventually